Hello, I'm Dane, and this is Dan Explains. This last Sunday was the Feast of Corpus Christi. I know people have probably heard of the city in Texas with the same name, but unless you're Catholic, in fact, even if you are, you may not have heard of the feast day. Corpus Christi actually means body of Christ. On Corpus Christi, people who believe in what's called the real presence celebrate that Jesus is physically present in the Eucharist. Now, if this isn't something you're interested in, because maybe you watch one of my more science-centered videos, let me mention something I haven't in a while. You'll notice my thumbnails have an icon in the lower right or left corners, either a cross, an atom, or sometimes both. I use that to indicate the subject matter of the video. The cross for the videos that contain religious content, and the atom for videos that contain science or engineering content. So you can quickly identify if you want to watch the video, if you're only interested in one type of content or the other. Okay, back to the Eucharist. Many people have heard Catholics believe the Eucharist, also known as the communion bread and wine, literally turns into his flesh and blood. Do Catholics really believe that? What's the reason? Let me explain. First off, I'd like to mention that this video is not about biblical or historical evidence for why Catholics and others believe the Eucharist is Jesus. That's a subject for another video. Actually, probably many other videos. Today, I'm explaining what Catholics believe and contrasting it to other opinions about it in Christianity. That being said, let's jump in. Communion is a common practice among many Christian groups. Before the Protestant Reformation, belief that the Eucharist was physically Jesus was the norm. However, if you've ever gotten a close look at it, the host, which is the white wafer, and the wine both still look just like bread and wine. This, of course, leads people to doubt what it really is, and so most Protestants don't believe the Eucharist is actually Jesus, or if it is, it's not literally physically him. Generally, they believe it's a symbol of Jesus' body, although there are variations going all the way from that to believing it's the real presence, like believing Jesus spiritually enters the bread and wine, but they don't actually become him. So more like that possessed sock you find everywhere but inside your sock drawer. Some are a bit closer to what Catholics believe. Lutherans, for instance, believe in something called the consubstantiation, where Jesus is in and throughout the bread and wine, but the bread and wine don't literally become him. What Catholics believe is something called the transubstantiation. Basically, the bread and the wine become Jesus. But how is that if they don't visibly change? Outside of Eucharistic miracles anyway, where the bread literally transforms into flesh. Yes, that's a thing. Perhaps yet another subject for yet another video. What Catholics believe is the bread and wine change in substance to flesh and blood, but maintain what's called the accidence, which means the appearance of bread and wine. And by appearance, I don't just mean visual appearance. I mean any attempt to analyze the bread and wine with your senses or with sensors will only result in them appearing to be regular bread and wine. Again, excepting certain rare circumstances. To any atheist and many Protestants, it sounds like Catholics are just pretending to be cannibals for fun or something. Besides how much biblical evidence there is for the real presence, Catholics do not believe they are cannibals. We believe by receiving and consuming the Eucharist, we are becoming part of Christ's body in a real way. Consider eating a snack. After you eat it and some dirty work is done by your digestive system, that food literally becomes part of you. Catholics see consuming the Eucharist in a similar way, but in reverse. We are incorporated into the body of Christ. Protestants generally see the church as some kind of spiritual communion of believers. Catholics, on the other hand, see it as a literal entity with Jesus as its head. Everyone who is part of that church is also in turn part of that body. That is, Jesus' body on earth. Jesus uses the phrase, "I am the vine, you are the branches," to describe this concept. Like a branch or a limb, the appendage needs to be fed by the rest of the body to survive. What happens if an appendage is strangled or detached? The life-sustaining nutrients that it needs are cut off, and it dies. Well, Catholics see the Eucharist as the life-sustaining food for the body of the Church on earth. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button. Subscribe to my channel and ding the bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, please support me on Patreon. Link in the description. The more people support me, the more time I can dedicate to making videos like this one. So, until next time, have a great week.